At my show, we spend a lot of time talking about Project 2025. I was thrilled to see you are a founding member of the recently created Stop Project 2025 Congressional Task Force. I do have to ask you, what are the realistic actions that this task force can take in order to keep the most radical agenda in the history of the United States from becoming a reality?
Yes, I'm pleased to be a founding member of this Stop Project 2025 task force. Well, the first thing we have to do is ensure that Donald Trump is not a reelected president of the United States of America. It's been my experience with extreme MAGA Republicans that they don't make threats, they make promises. I think sunlight is the best disinfectant, and this new task force to stop Project 2025 will be doing exactly that. We will bring the sunlight, the awareness, and educate people about this extreme far-right manifesto that will ostensibly, undo and dismantle the federal government as we know it, including things like eliminating the Department of Education, mass firings of civil servants by reinstating an executive action Schedule F, so that they would just be hiring ostensibly partisan Trump sycophants, bans on books, bans on abortion, eliminating Title I funding for K through 12 schools. It's just, it's wild and frightening.
So it seems that you, though, have seen the writing on the wall for a long time about this erosion of individual rights. You've been a member of the Pro-Choice Caucus's Abortion Rights and Access Task Force and have been working on expanding mifepristone access for years. Do you see this week's Supreme Court decision, for example, as just a victory for now, especially as your Republican colleagues block legislation to protect birth control and IVF?
Well, it's both and, Katie. As the Project 2025 far-right extreme manifesto lays out, Dobbs was just the beginning. And so, true enough, after that, we saw more dominoes fall. Then they went after birth control and contraceptives, then IVF. So when it comes to the Supreme Court's recent ruling on mifepristone, a ruling that was really a procedural one, it's both and. I've been managing my expectations given rulings on Dobbs and affirmative action. So I am surprised. I am also relieved. This is a tremendous victory for reproductive health care access. Mifepristone is safer than Tylenol. It is safe, legal, and effective, both in abortion care and miscarriage management. But I am bracing myself for future challenges because I know that they will stop at nothing to make real a nationwide ban on abortion, which is a nation of forced birth. So really do consider what that means and the implications. They are dire. They are life and death. And this far-right extreme MAGA Republicans have enlisted the Supreme Court as co-conspirators and accomplices in advancing this far-right agenda.
Donald Trump recently sat down for an interview with Semafor, and he had this to say, quote, "I have so many black friends that if I were a racist, they wouldn't be friends. They would know better than anybody and fast." He said they would not be with me for 2 minutes if they thought I was racist, and I'm not racist. I mean, in my opinion, the guy doth protest too much, methinks, but I'd like to get your response on this. He's clearly doing a lot of moves like this in advance of the November 2024 election.
Katie, I don't care who Donald Trump's friends are. I care about what his rhetoric is and what his policies are and the harm that he's caused. And I care about his track record. The best predictor of the future is the past. This is someone who called for the death penalty for babies. Now the exonerated Central Park 5, who discriminated against black tenants when he was a landlord, who while an occupant of the Oval Office exacted great policy harm and played a critical role in getting a Supreme Court bench that is far right, extreme, and imbalanced, that is daily has questionable ethics, which is exactly why we need an ethics reform. We need to expand the court to right-size this and to bring some balance and to restore integrity there. So there are too many instances whereby Donald Trump has caused great harm. Policy is my love language. I don't care who his friends are. Policy is my love language, and he has legislated great harm. And Project 2025, which is nothing but Trump sycophants, is a blueprint for much more of it.
You know, Congresswoman, I want to stay on this Supreme Court topic for a second with you, because every Thursday now, as the term ends for this Supreme Court, we are waiting with bated breath to see how this 6-3 supermajority conservative SCOTUS rules. And for example, we still haven't gotten a ruling from them on Trump's claim of absolute criminal immunity for his conduct when he was in the Oval Office. But we just yesterday got a ruling on the bump stocks and the idea that they don't qualify as a machine gun, and therefore you can use one and pretty much further the gun culture of our country. But there was a note, there was some language in the opinion and the concurrence by Scalia that said Congress, if they want to do something about it, they can do it. Talk about how frustrating it is to want to protect all Americans, regardless of party affiliation. But you keep on hitting these roadblocks with your GOP colleagues just to be able to get something like common sense gun legislation passed.
Well, it's incredibly frustrating. And I have to say, Katie, I think, for folks on the outside looking in, they're just sort of like, why can't everybody just get along and play nice in the sandbox and be the adults in the room? It is very difficult, Katie, to have an honest conversation with dishonest people. And our colleagues, many of them across the aisle, they are not interested in negotiating in good faith. There are so many issues that we could be advancing progress on, issues that are suburban, urban, and rural, issues of shared consequence and importance to our shared constituencies. But they would rather pursue baseless impeachment investigations and censure colleagues. The 118th Congress just has been chaos and dysfunction under this Republican majority. They have governed, and I'm using that term generously, with callousness and cruelty, and I think contempt for the American people. When you don't want to do things like ensure that hungry kids can be fed through SNAP benefits, I don't have any other choice but to believe that you want to legislate from a worldview and from an aim to legislate and exact harm. They are very disconnected from what are the daily struggles of everyday people. They are not centering the people. Again, it has just been nothing but chaos, callousness, and contempt. And that's why we have to do everything possible to defeat Donald Trump, to ensure that this Project 2025 manifesto is not made real. It is a frightening blueprint. And again, they always telegraph their punches. So I have every reason to believe that if Donald Trump is elected, that all of these things will happen. Eliminating the Department of Education, bans on books and bodies, again, a nationwide ban on abortion, mass firing of dedicated civil servants to instead replace them with Trump sycophants. And that is just one example. So I'm glad to be a founding member of this Project 2025 House Task Force so that we can shine a light on this frightening blueprint.
Well, I want to say thank you, Congresswoman Ayanna Pressley, for joining me and for talking about that task force. And we're going to be watching all of you working tirelessly to defend democracy in D.C. Thank you for being here.
Thank you.